Hey guys, I have been messing around with Chen a little bit, and I've been watching Chen being played in the competitive scene, and I actually made several Chen videos when I was using Chen a little bit in Storm League to carry, and I realized that I couldn't use any of those videos because there's no way that Chen was going to stay in his current state. Because the competitive scene, he's getting banned a lot, and I was like, there's no way. And then, after I made all those videos and I held on to him, he got buffed. And I was like, nah, we need a new video. So, I want to show a little bit about how to play Chen. This is actually a really rough game. This is a Storm League game. I was playing with Jhow, and I was playing with Kyle Fergusson. Kyle Fergusson you might know from Into the Nexus. And this was a really rough game. I already hadn't played the game in a few weeks, and not a few weeks, but like a week or so, and so I was a little rusty. Same time, I had only played probably 4 or 5 games with Chen. I just knew the play style on it. I didn't know the matchups. I didn't know who I could beat in 1v1s yet, but I did know the play style of how to take team fights. So you're going to see that I handle team fights really well, but in terms of 1v1s, I'm not exactly sure what to do yet. Not to mention, it was kind of one of those kill the streamer days where there was a lot of focus on my lane. Enemies went double globals. So overall, we've got a game that is, it's going to be a rough game. I'll just say that. This is before his buffs. So when you throw your keg, you will have to wait like a second and a half before firing off the flame breath, as you can see. So there is a bit of a delay in between the two, but as you're handling the solo lane, what I've learned with Chen is you should be, anytime that you see any major damage coming towards you, you stagger it, and then you drink through the damage after you can walk away. But when you're on D-Shire, you can pretty much hold the point, use your Q to jump down if any of the minions get close enough, and then you can again use stagger to eat any of the damage, use your brew to survive all of it, and whenever they show back up there, you can jump back to them if they come down here. Now, he's smart. He goes up to the top. So instead, while we control this, I'm like, I'm going to focus on clearing lanes, and then I'll go and grab it back later. So I go for the wave clear instead. Now, let's talk about his build a little bit, and I'm going to explain the pieces and why we go these pieces. Eye of the Tiger gives you sustain during fights, also gives you really powerful 1v1 potential by jumping on a target, soaking them in brew, and doing increased damage while healing yourself for a good chunk of health. While the other talents are okay, this talent tends to be generally really weak because you don't hit people with basic abilities very often. It's pretty much just 2%, 2%, 2%. Sorry, 2%, 2%, 2%. And then, of course, you can hit some AoE, but it's just not that powerful. And the playstyle that we're going to be using, you're not going to get value from it. So, in this case, again, they really like top lane. Kill the streamer. But the Precious Ingredients is okay, and if you're going to take this talent, you can get away with taking Deadly Strike as well, so you do increased damage on your charge. But then you have to take a decreased damage talent at level 1 to then increase your damage later. And it's like, you might as well just go a talent that increases your damage and survivability, and then also getting another talent that increases your damage. So you're effectively taking 2 damage talents here. This also helps with wave clear a little bit, and it also helps that 1v1 where you keep attacking targets that are ignited, and it's really valuable. Level 7. In our playstyle, we are not taking Gift of the Ox because we're not going to be taking a lot of stagger damage, so we don't need to worry about reducing our stagger damage. Against auto-attackers, Elusive Brawler could be nice if there's a reason you want to stop them from auto-attacking. For example, an Illidan gets lower cooldown while he's auto-attacking, so if you can reduce his cooldowns by using this, then you are also making it easier to kill him. But for a lot of heroes, we just want to go with increased movement speed and increased health regeneration. Now, there's tricks to this. If you stay at exactly 50% brew, you actually gain the movement speed and you gain the regen. So if you simply walk into a lane and use Keg Smash and then Breath of Fire, you will have both of these bonuses active at the same time. You won't see me using this very much because I'm going to be using my Q for a gap closer. And the reason that I think Chen is absolutely busted right now is because he is the strongest dive assassin in the game, and I will show you why, or at least dive hero in the game. I'll show you why. But it'll be further in this game. We have to start losing this game before I can show you why he's the strongest dive assassin in the game. Because before, with Chen, he was kind of a one-trick in what he could do. You would jump, you would barrel, and you'd bring in one person, get a kill, and then you would just be kind of a subpar hero after that. But the competitive scene's been like, no, after they give him stagger, there's something really cool you can do, and that's what I really wanted to share. So at level 10, we're going to go Storm Within Fire. This allows him to have, again, more dive potential. It's going to allow him to do the little trick that I'm talking about, as well as it's just going to make you a beast in team fights. So I start double soaking for my team while my team's pushing. I see someone, and I wanted to deny him some experience, so instead I just kind of went around, made sure that we can hold the dragon area. But then they grab back bottom, and it's, yeah. But I do focus primarily on the soaking for the team, so I'm double soaking, Varian's double soaking. Varian's also got kills, so he's a little bit ahead of me in experience, but I catch back up pretty quickly. And so level 10, I pick Storm, Earth, and Fire. Level 13, I pick Ring of Fire. Ring of Fire does a lot of cool things, but the cool thing that I like about Ring of Fire is you don't need to stay in this form. You can go into Storm, Earth, and Fire, and you'll have Ring of Fires on all 3 of your units as well. Another cool trick that can add up, so you're doing AoE damage to everyone on the battlefield at the same time. Level 16, I take Combo Strikes. Every third basic attack against the same target does 75% more damage, and while you have shields, and 2 seconds after, you gain 50% attack speed. Really allows you to, again, just melt down targets, and that combined with this level 1 talent, that you're going to be doing 50% more damage, and attacking 50% faster, and doing 75% more damage, it adds up really, really fast, and you've got a really powerful answer for just diving in and taking people out when you're not in Storm, Earth, and Fire. I die here because I'm a complete idiot, so spoiler alert. My plan here was to call for my team, bait the Falstad into trying to kill me, and then use Storm, Earth, and Fire to dodge the Hinterlands Blast. And I mistimed Storm, Earth, and Fire, and my team didn't really want to come up and help, so I can blame that 100% on me. Even though, again, like, you call for your team and they don't show up, people want to blame their team. It's more my fault for trying to take a play that required my team to help when I could have just had a safer route. Anywho, this is kind of what this build does in a 1v1 situation. Do you see how much damage I'm doing to him? Quite a good chunk. And again, you barrel him, you slow him, and you could pop Storm, Earth, and Fire and possibly get a kill, and I think I do. I didn't think I went for the kill, but I did think I popped Storm, Earth, and Fire. Anyways, so we end up just really struggling here. I do Storm, Earth, and Fire here, but nothing too exciting. Not really that powerful by any means. I try to bait him into this fight, but that doesn't end up working. And we end up losing someone. We lose a fort, and a lot of people come to my lane. Again, kill the streamer. All globals use top. Either way, should I have been pushed that far out? I really wasn't pushed that far, but Chen doesn't really have an escape without popping Storm, Earth, and Fire. So you don't really want to be pushed out very far if you don't know where the enemies are. I knew where they were, but they did have globals, so hey, you do what you can do. But yeah, so I do pick up Ring of Fire, and we will be seeing where this starts getting really, really powerful. So again, this is before his buffs, so W takes a little while to activate your Breath of Fire anyways. I go help them out with this. We see if we can't get a gank here, and I personally like ganking on this version of Chen because you can dive really far into their backline. So how the process works is you're going to be diving into their backline with Q, slowing them, lighting on fire, and then you're going to Storm, Earth, and Fire, and wherever they go, you're going to jump on them again. And it's a really powerful tool for taking people out, but you do still need to be cautious about it because you can get caught in some really bad situations. Like this, for example, where my Q range doesn't go off, so I end up jumping in, firing off a W, firing off another W. Oh, I don't get the second W. Storm, Earth, and Fire, and I jump in on their backline, doing a ton of damage. Now, my mistake was not just going for ETC here, and you'll see that it really punishes me later for it. I thought that he was going to be jumping like really far away, and he ends up just jumping right next to us, and I could have just turned, killed him, and then killed Varian, and we would have taken everything. Instead, I stuck on the Stukov in the backline and ended up giving like a full reset onto the Hinterlands Blast. Now, look at how much damage they did to me, though. They went through a good chunk of my initial health bar, which I staggered. Then they went through the entire Storm, Earth, and Fire. And now I'm back with a full health bar again that they have to go through. So the cool part about this is even though I played really poorly, and I could have done this so much better, and like I said at the beginning of this video, it's a rough video, you can still do a ton. And like we still killed the Varian, and I still kept my team alive. So I can't really dive in too far. So you can see I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get our team level 16s, and I just go to double soak. I go up top lane, and I don't mind going in a 1v1 versus these two, because I can always stagger, and then take that stagger damage, spread it out, and remove it with Storm, Earth, and Fire. But instead, there we go. So I just removed the stagger. I'm using my E first, then my Q, and then my W so I can root him in place. We root him in place, and look at all this damage we do to him. It's a good chunk of damage. And so we end up just kind of hanging out now, and we get some extra friends. I jump away, but I'm like, again, Chen doesn't have escapes. So your best bet is to drink and try to take a fight. I end up dying. It happens. It happens. Again, double globals. You have to deal with it. Something I probably should learn by now. I believe they get another dragon here. And I go to soak some lanes. But I also don't want to lose a keep. So you can see I only soak one lane or one wave, and then we jump in. So this is what just happened. I just jumped in with Q into their backline. I'm now on their Stukov. I then hit him with a good keg of the finest brew, right? I hit him with a keg. As I hit him with the keg, I then use a fire. Well, I was about to use a fire. Now the fire goes on a different target because I'm bad at Chen. But now watch this. I pop stagger, and watch how much damage I take here. They use everything on me. And I go through almost a half a health bar. Storm, Earth, and Fire then activates, removing that damage over time. I then activate my fire, activate the Storm, and then jump on their backline again. So I jumped on their backline first, got their entire backline to turn on me. When their entire backline turned on me, I used Stagger. Stagger reduced all the damage that they just dealt to me down to nothing. I Storm, Earth, and Fired because it removes the Stagger, and I jump on them again. So I alone just did 80% of Stukov's health, rooted him, would have killed him without the Joanna. Then I go on to Kael'thas, kill Kael'thas, and guess what? They used all that damage on my Storm, Earth, and Fire now, and guess what's over? Storm, Earth, and Fire, and I'm back without all that stagger. Remember that stagger damage almost killed me, and I'm back. And now we go up here. We clear some lanes, try to get us level 20s for our team. Looks like our team wants to take another fight. I personally don't. I'm going to get camps. You do not do that fast of camps on Chen. Level 13 speeds it up, but it's not usually something that you want to be doing. Going to soak, again, trying to get my team level 10s. You can see the power of his dive. When I dive in their backline, there's like nothing they can do. I dive in their backline, Storm, Earth, and Fire. I dive again in their backline. We get all the kills. Now I'm going to upgrade Storm, Earth, and Fire, so I don't need to activate Fire and Wind. I can just Storm, Earth, and Fire and jump in. So I'm going to start off by slowing. He's probably going to knock me away here. But it's still, like, they can't do anything because once I jump on them, they just have to hang out. Nothing they can do about it. So I head up here so we can go and get a dragon. And then I join my team for this last fight. So we were down almost this entire game. At one point, we were down 12-5. Now watch. Just jump on in. I get pushed away. Really far away. We've got a dragon pushing in. Guess what? Just jump in again. Slow. Slow. Storm, Earth, and Fire. Jump on their backline and melt them down. Look at that damage, guys. Seriously. And if you guys were noticing something, They were burning because of fire, and they were getting crit because of Eye of the Tiger. As well as we were doing third basic attacks on the same target crit. So these 3 talents also assist you in Storm, Earth, and Fire. So I'm able to dive in on their backline, stagger a ton of damage, dive in on Storm, Earth, and Fire, dive in their backline again, and just take them out. And look at how much health they have. Like, they can't even deal with it. And that's it. That's game. So, I'm going to show you guys the build one more time. Eye of the Tiger. Increased damage. Also helps out in Storm, Earth, and Fire. Accumulating Flame. Helps a little bit with wave clear, as well as it's good in that 1v1 because you can auto-attack targets that are ignited. And don't forget that all 3 of your things in Storm, Earth, and Fire are all considered basic attacks. So if you're attacking someone that you ignited, they're going to stay ignited for the entirety of Storm, Earth, and Fire until they're dead. Brewmaster's Balance gives you that movement speed, regen in lanes. You can go the elusive one as well. Storm, Earth, and Fire, amazing. Ring of Fire, more wave clear, more damage in Storm, Earth, and Fire. Combo Strikes, more damage in Storm, Earth, and Fire. Straightforward. And Conduit increases the spirit's health by 100%. And all of the abilities are empowered, which means that you can also increase the duration, as well as some other awesome things. That is the build. That is how people should be playing Chen, and this is before he got buffed. So, you were the scariest dive hero in the game if you're good at it. Now, don't dive in alone. You still dive in during a team fight. If you saw this team fight around here, what happened is we were fighting. I dove in their backline and distracted their backline long enough for my team to start walking forward. And then I was able to get a kill, 2 kills, but I would have died. And if the team was smart, they could have kept their whole team alive, but they just jumped in. So now the question is, how do you counter Chen? Well, Stukov did the right thing a few times. Massive shoved me away before I could Storm, Earth, and Fire. And that's really what you want to do, is you want to try to get him away the first time. If you can get him away the first time, Storm, Earth, and Fire loses value. So if you can do a bunch of damage to him and then get him away, then he doesn't want to use Storm, Earth, and Fire to remove Stagger, and so he just stays at really low health. Not to mention, poke damage is really good against him as well. His healing over time from his level 7 talent's good, but if you poke him down, Stagger doesn't get value, and he might be too afraid to use Storm, Earth, and Fire because when it ends, he's going to be really, really low. He should be moving around too much for AoE to kill him for Storm, Earth, and Fire, so really, that's not a good counter. I keep seeing people that's like, oh, just play Gul'dan and Kael'thas and kill all of them. But the Storm aspect is going to be so far away from the other two that usually Earth and Fire will die and Storm will be full health. And then all you did was wasted a bunch of time damaging all of these clones. The best bet to counter him is either ban him or utilize tools that allow you to knock them away. Like, for example, Mic Check, if he would have taken a different talent. But guys, this was a Masters level Storm League game. It might not have looked like it. We really struggled in the beginning, but this was a Masters level Storm League game, and this is what happens when you dive in the backline. People don't even know what to do. I pretty much was able to take out Kel'Thuzad and Stukov every single fight by jumping on them, Storm, Earth, and Fire, and jumping on them again. Chen is super strong right now in this particular build, and I have no idea why they buffed him. I really don't. He was already getting banned in the competitive scene, and there was one pro game where Team Russia was playing against Granite Gaming where he staggered like 2 full health bars. And then he used Storm, Earth, and Fire, removed the stagger, and then jumped on and killed one person. And then we got out of his Storm, Earth, and Fire. He's sitting at like 80% health, jumped on another person, got another kill. It's like, that's how powerful this is. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and feel free to check out any of my other videos.